Hey, ¿qué paso? What's going on, guys? Hola, Pablo. Hey, real quick, I want to do some quick regression trend analysis on Bitcoin while I have a few moments to spare and show you what we're looking at and really how to use this kind of technique in your own technical analysis when you look at your own coins and tokens that you're invested in or dollar cost averaging in. And this will give you a pretty good bias, an 80 to 85% accuracy rate. It's kind of what I get when I'm looking to see if something's about to top out or whatever. What you need to do is you want to use the volume, the vertical bar volume, as your sole indicator, and then the rest is just trend line and candles reading and like price action and also it's good to have the zero point 0.5 Fibonacci there as a mid-range guide or something to kind of look at the juncture of whenever the price action hits the midpoint, what you're looking at as far as supply and demand. So real quick, what you want to do is get like, you want to go up to this Fibonacci, or rather the trend line tools, click on regression trend, and you could draw a regression trend at the top of each range. So we go here, say we start here, and we go say here, say like we're up at this area here currently, for example, and we're wanting to know if this is in danger of distributing. What we can look at is what the price action is doing at these key junctures. We notice that the price action here is nestled or just bouncing off of midpoint, channel midpoint, between the midpoint and the micro resistance, which would be the channel resistance up on top. Of course, the resistance is on top, support is on the bottom. And so it's bouncing pretty much between this this narrow upper channel, upper half of the regression trend. But every time it's hitting it, we're getting volume in supply, more so than demand. So that leads me to believe that there is a impending dump or a retracement coming, and sure enough, that's what happened. It retraced here back through all the way through support. This was actually intended to be a shakeout, and then it came back up, but it came back up on low volume. So the demand was low. You would think that the demand coming back up would be as high as it is with the corresponding supply, which brought it down, but it wasn't the case. So the demand was less than impressive, came back up to midpoint, bounced around some more, and on low general volume on both supply and demand. So kind of got each one nullified each other out. The thing is now, when it wicks up to the upper resistance, boom, we're getting huge freaking supply bars spiking. So this is, not only is this a failure to rally, but there is some serious selling going off every time it hits here, which leads me to believe that this is a bear. There is a bear order block above here. And sure enough, that's what happened. So if I was trading this, if I were swing trading Bitcoin, of course, I don't swing trade Bitcoin. I DCA the crap out of Bitcoin. I've been holding Bitcoin for years. Now, I've been buying Bitcoin since it was at $8,000. And so I don't sell Bitcoin. But if I were selling it, if I were swinging it, this would have been a good area to get the hell out of Dodge with these supply bars. And so sure enough, that was a harbinger for this cataclysmic sell-off, which brought it all the way down. I'm not going to measure it, but it brought it down from like 47. I mean, it lost like 8 grand in a matter of, I mean, this is a 30-minute chart. So you do the math, this is like 3 days. It lost about 10 grand almost, went down. So that's no bueno if you're swing trading this thing. So the next range, it's, well, we could just leave that there. The next range, we could draw another, see where it kind of sold off here, and then we had some sideways consolidation. We could do another regression trend here, say to here. And again, we see the same thing. We see it nestling and hugging midpoint, and we're seeing more so than demand. We're seeing supply. We're seeing supply. Supply is definitely the predominant dynamic in this range. See, it came all the way up here to trading range, or rather, this is a channel. This is a regression. So this is a trend, micro trend resistance, and that's where we got this bundle of supply just exploding, which sent it back down. Sent it back down. It didn't, the market makers, the The composite operators, they don't want to send it down too far because, again, this is a campaign, this is a cat and mouse game to scare traders to get them to capitulate, and then they bring it back up. So this is a lot of selling. Then they bring it back up. You think it's going to pump, and then you've got a demand spike here, which would signal a correction back up to channel resistance. But it's just a single lonely spike that doesn't really do anything, it's just unimpressive, and it sends it right back down. So here's another failure, a failure to perform or failure to rally. It goes back down, and then suddenly, boom, we get a reemergence of supply bars coming in, which leads me to believe that something's going on, something's not right here. Otherwise, this would have gone back up and closed out this prior liquidity gap here, but it didn't. Instead, it's staying range bound, and it comes up again. It makes another attempt at channel resistance, and then what happens? The shot heard around the freaking world, man. We got a big gunshot. The sucker bleeds out parabolically. Breaks down below channel support, tries to make it back up, does a little half-ass consolidation here, and boom, and then it just dumps. And so this kind of brings us to where we currently are in Bitcoin. And here is the present range now, the present consolidation range. The big question is, are we in a consolidation range, or is this a redistribution? Is it going to reaccumulate? Accumulation, of course, will be if it marks up. If it marks up and forms maybe an inverted head and shoulders, then that would make a lot of sense and start closing out all these macro voids, and people can start making money again, taking profits. But not so fast. I don't think that's what's in the books yet. I think eventually we are going to reaccumulate, but maybe not as soon as we think. So we're going to draw another regression trend. This is where we currently are. This is the money place right now. So what I'm going to do is go off the last high, the prior high, which is this area here, and where we currently are. And again, you see we have another regression trend that is on a decline. Typically, declines don't mean that the whole thing's going down, so that's not a cause to be concerned. Just the trajectory of the channel on its own is not cause enough to determine whether it's going to distribute or accumulate. However, going back over the rest of the trading range from the moment it began consolidating, we are seeing still a clear predominance of supply. Yeah, guys, supply. Sorry to say if you thought we were out of the woods yet. So let me go ahead. We're going to draw the Fibonacci retracements. The yellow line is midpoint. This is trading range midpoint, a very, very crucial juncture when we're wanting to determine what the sentiment is for a range. We look at what, again, the price action is doing every time it touches it. And so every time it touches it, we are getting a boost back up, but on measurable, on low, unimpressive demand. Demand is not impressing us. Demand is failure to break trading range resistance. It's just failure to rally, failure to rally, failure to rally. It keeps making these attempts, but then it gets cock blocked right at resistance. So, and then here's what I want you, here's the big giveaway right here, guys. We are looking at a slowly building of supply. We saw that in the previous ranges. Supply is building. This here, guys, this is a UTAD, I believe. This is nothing more than a glorified bull trap. And people bought here. We see it's almost like a triple top distribution range. We take this on even a lower fractal. Say if we were to lessen the time frame to say a 5 minute, then we would see just a hardy distribution range right here. Came back down. It only came back down to midpoint. But boy, you think that if this were like a fake out, if they were just wanting to fake people out, that this down here was the real shakeout, we would see just colossal demand begin to come in here. Green demand to correlate with the increasing thrust in the price action. But we don't see that. We see, again, the same old kind of unimpressive price action where the price kind of hugs midline, hugs midline, and attempts to come up to support, and rather to resistance. And it hasn't even made it back to resistance. But if it does make it back to resistance, then I'd be looking at supply and demand at that point. We see not either now with this little micro rally that it hasn't amounted to much. The demand is just pathetic right now, and so this leads me to believe that they're gonna maybe pump it back up. We could see like a little, if it does break, trading range resistance, it won't be for long. This is my hypothesis, and then it comes back down, back into the channel, with budding supply, kind of like we saw here. We could just expect to see an increase in supply bars as it brings it back down, perhaps back to, we could see like $26,000 Bitcoin, even all the way down to 25,000, which would make sense because that would close out this, with the retracements, this lower liquidity void down here. And then we could see some more sideways consolidation and or an immediate violent upthrust, bringing it back up, liquidating all the shorts down here, leading all these hapless traders at the train station with their suitcases in hand and nowhere to go as the buses and the trains leave for Honolulu and up to paradise with their money, as Bitcoin continues to mark up. And we could see at that point the market reversing and the bulls effectively taking over. So guys, you got to be smart at this. No one wants to get left behind. Just of course, this is Bitcoin, and it's the king of manipulation, and Bitcoin is so difficult to trade. And but I tell you what, I don't short it. I wouldn't short Bitcoin, but to each their own. But anyway, that's what I have for now. This has gone on over 10 minutes. I need to get going. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this. If this video has been profitable for you, if any of my videos have been helping you in any way, go ahead, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe and at least like the video or something, just like let me know that you're listening. And that'll encourage me to make more and share some more techniques that I use. Volume strength analysis, guys, volume, spread, and Wyckoff. Volume is the only indicator that I use. So if you like these decluttered, I say decluttered, and there's clutter all over this, but we can get rid of all that real quick. We just click remove drawings. Voila, clean chart again, guys. Anyway, let me let you go. This has gone on too long. I like the BS, but now's not the time. So anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And adios. Adios, guys. Bye.